The police officer's knuckles rapped sharply on the driver's side window, a sound like gunfire in the quiet suburban night. "Step out of the vehicle! Now!" he barked, his flashlight beam piercing the interior, illuminating the calm, composed face of the black driver. Officer Miller, a man whose arrogance was as polished as his badge, saw only a luxury sedan in a wealthy, predominantly white neighborhood, and a man whose skin tone didn't fit his idea of who belonged. He was entirely oblivious to the power dynamic he was shattering, for in the shadowed back seat sat a passenger who was about to redefine the meaning of authority. "License and registration," Miller snapped, his voice dripping with suspicion as the driver, Marcus Thorne, complied with slow, deliberate movements. "A bit late for a drive, isn't it? Run a light back there. You people always think the rules don't apply." The slur was subtle, woven into the fabric of his accusation. Marcus didn't flinch. He simply stared ahead, his hands resting on the steering wheel in plain sight. Just breathe, he told himself, the memory of 100 such microaggressions, a dull ache in his heart. He could feel the weight in the back seat, a silent, gathering storm. "On what grounds?" a calm, resonant voice inquired from the darkness behind him. Officer Miller jumped, swinging his flashlight into the back seat. The beam illuminated a woman in her late 50s, her hair in elegant silver twists, her eyes holding a terrifying calm. Annoyance flared in Miller's chest. Another person questioning his authority. "Ma'am, stay in the vehicle." "I'll get to you," he commanded, turning his aggression back to Marcus. "I'm going to need you to step out for a field sobriety test." It was a power play, pure and simple, an attempt to reinforce his dominance through humiliation. Marcus remained still, but his eyes flicked to the rearview mirror, meeting the woman's gaze. She gave a single, almost imperceptible nod. This was the turning point. Marcus didn't speak. Instead, with a calm that felt superhuman, he reached slowly for the glove compartment. Miller's hand went to his holster. "Easy!" he shouted. But Marcus didn't retrieve a weapon. He pulled out a simple, leather-bound portfolio and handed it to the officer. Bewildered, Miller opened it. Inside was not a registration but a typed itinerary, and a security briefing for the Governor's unannounced tour of the District's community centers. The name at the top was Governor Eleanor Reed. Miller's blood ran cold. He looked from the document to the woman in the back seat, her face now fully visible in the light from a passing car. It was her, the governor. The man he was berating wasn't just a driver. He was her most trusted personal security detail and senior policy advisor on criminal justice reform. Miller's mind raced, scrambling for a lifeline. "Governor," he stammered, his voice losing all its prior force. "My apologies. A misunderstanding. Perhaps we can keep this between us? I can provide a security escort for the rest of your trip. My unit could use the positive press." He was trying to buy his way out, to co-opt the situation for his own benefit. Marcus finally spoke, his voice low and steady. "No." The word hung in the air, a final judgment. "Your offer isn't about protection. It's about cover. We decline." In the devastating silence that followed, Governor Reed opened her door and stepped out. She didn't look at Miller. She addressed Marcus, her voice carrying in the still night. "Marcus, remind me, what was the central pillar of the police accountability bill you drafted that passed the state Senate last month?" Marcus's eyes never left the horrified officer. "The Dignity in Traffic Stops Clause, Governor. Mandatory, bias-aware de-escalation training and independent review for all complaints." The revelation was a sledgehammer. Miller wasn't just harassing a driver, he was demonstrating the very behavior this man had helped legislate against. The backstory was laid bare. Marcus Thorne wasn't just an employee, he was the architect of the reform that was about to dismantle Officer Miller's world. The fall was immediate and absolute. Miller was placed on administrative leave, his actions that night becoming the central case study in the statewide rollout of the new training he had so desperately needed. Weeks later, a reformed officer, Miller, having narrowly avoided termination, stood before a classroom of his peers as an assistant instructor for the new de-escalation program. He used his own story of catastrophic failure as his lesson plan. The governor, in a move that shocked the political world, had endorsed his path to redemption, convinced by Marcus that true justice could be transformative, not just punitive. The man who had shouted was now learning to listen, his change of heart a testament to the power of facing the consequences of his prejudice. Marcus hadn't sought revenge. He had enforced a higher principle, forcing a broken system to look at its own reflection and change. The uniform grants authority, but only character earns respect. This story shows that true power is quiet, and justice is most powerful when it teaches, not just punishes. If this story about dignity and transformative justice resonated with you, subscribe for more tales of hidden potential revealed.